It's a product really of who he's married to. His wife has a holding worth £690 million in an IT company called Infosys. Her dad was one of the co-founders.
Just explain how you go about compiling this thing, because presumably quite a lot of the people that you are writing about don't necessarily want to tell you how much money they've got.
You're absolutely right. Yes, I mean 90% of my job is trawling through accounts, shareholdings in public companies, private accounts, but about a third of the people on the list talk to us in some way, shape, or form, and they know that the Sunday Times Rich List is a matter of sort of public record. It's been going for 34 years. It's the 34th edition, and they want to talk to us about their wealth, where they came from, how they did it, and share with us information that is otherwise not in the public domain.
And let's talk about the Chancellor. Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, making the list for the first time. How is it that he's made the list for the first time?
Well, it's a product really of who he's married to. His wife has a holding worth £690 million in an IT company called Infosys. Her dad was one of the co-founders. We always aggregate family wealth. So a big slug of their wealth is with that. He did all right, though. I mean, he did do pretty well. He worked for Goldman Sachs. He was a hedge fund manager as well.
It's not entirely. He wouldn't be living on the streets were it not for his wife. He did pretty well himself. He's done all right, but she has got the lion's share of the family wealth. But because we aggregate family wealth, in he comes. In he comes this year. How has he made it this year and not previously? Because obviously he's been married to her for a while, and he's been in Chancellor for a while.
Only in the last year has it been clear to us how large her shareholding Infosys is. I mean, the shares have done okay over the past year. They're up a bit, but yes, it's a spot that we've made this year.
Obviously, one of the big conversations of recent months has been the amount of Russian money in the UK. How have you got on trying to track that down?
Well, Abramovich is the biggest loser in this year's list. Part of that is to do the collapse of. He's lost £2 billion on the collapse of his holding in Evraz, the steel company. And then look at Chelsea. So he wrote off a loan of £1.5 billion for that. And is he going to get any money out of selling Chelsea? We don't know yet for sure, but it looks like he's not. But elsewhere, where you look with Russians, it's a much more murky picture. There's a world of difference between freezing assets and seizing assets, and a lot of these assets, yes, the oligarch class have lost their use of nice mansions, nice houses, super yachts, but they're still the legal owners. They've also squirreled a lot of money offshore to places like Cyprus, to places like the British Virgin Islands. And yes, they used the London laundromat, but it was in the country and out again the other side before too long. And then look at what's happened to the ruble as well. Yes, it crashed at the start of the war, but since then the ruble has recovered very, very strongly against the pound. So when they've got businesses left in Russia, assets left in Russia, they have held up pretty well. So they're down a bit, but not so much as we thought they would be.
And in terms of, obviously, they're only the first sort of tidbit from the full list. When the full list drops, what are the things should people be keeping an eye out for?
Look, the full list is up. You can read
it online
it now. It is online.
I'm
Get
a bit
on
busy
there,
on the
and you can
go on there with little tidbits that people should be looking out for. Which are the names? Who's up? Who's down?
Well, the thing I direct people towards, which I think are some of the most positive stories in the list, are our young list. Readers seem to really, really like these stories of these young people, particularly the sort of the Instagram guys who built fortunes very, very quickly from selling sportswear, where they're two guys from Swansea who built a vodka business that sold more than £2 million worth of vodka in there with their blingy gold bottles in the last year. And I think those sorts of stories, people connect with those stories better, I think, whereas some obscure foreign billionaire who they don't know.
And also you can sort of slightly understand how they've made the money. They've been doing something, they've been selling rather than some obscure. What's the age, do you think, where we go from, oh, that's really nice, they've done really well with themselves, to we hate that they've got far too much money?
I think we might be the other side of it.
It's too late for us. It's
too late for us. Interesting. I mean, we stop at 30, but yeah. 40, I don't know. Probably the age that the person who's reading it or talking about it has got a bit to do with it.
That's true. That's probably plays a big part. Well, it's really good to see you. Robert Watts, part of the Sunday Times Rich List. And as you were saying, you can actually go online and read the whole list right now.